little bit cloudy outside, enjoying a good drink. I believe that, very often it's not even what is on our heart that matters. I don't think we need to say anything that, there's no need to stress. Whatever we feel is what we feel. Sometimes we feel like saying stuff, we feel all kinds of different things. I don't plan filming anything. Don't believe I'm actor in this world or need to become something to make others feel anything or become. If I can do anything or say anything, it will be that. Hopefully it's something that is kind, turn out well for others, or be a good friend. Just simple like everybody. I believe we always, everybody has somebody, no matter how tough or strong, no matter what they say. They probably forget why they're there, or who they are, and whatever. I think it's a strength being humble. I write that this is like respect his thoughts in ourselves, and I believe that if we don't have respect in ourselves, we just don't have respect. We don't even know what it is. They think they have respect to somebody. They probably like to say it or whatever, and show it, of course. This is different. We're different. It's difficult to find. Today they say people, you are this. They call them, you like you're part of that group, and they have all kinds of groups to talk about what they went through. And I believe people go through. They meet people that are in a certain category. Let's say they not have so much empathy or whatever. Then they call them certain things. Then they talk about all kinds of this or that. I believe many people, they become what happened to them. You know what I mean? They, instead of moving on and learning, even though there are different stories. Some say that, I believe that some stories are harder than others. I definitely believe that some stories are definitely more harder to grasp, harder to understand. Probably they went through the worst stuff ever we can even think. But anyway, we are born, we must learn. So I think the psychological part is that we must move on and not become what happened to us. If we become what happened to us, then we get stuck. We become whatever if that was the point of getting us to become something, or whatever feeling they get out of, taking their ugliness onto you, or whatever it is. I just call it what it is. So that, I say you are what you are when you are it. And if that's what they are, then that's what they are. It's sad. It's reality today, many people, I believe evil is real. Some say evil is not real. It's definitely real. Some are just attracted to evil. Some like evil, part of being, let's say, women and girls, they like this bad, image. They like this bad image. So then the boys, they think, well, I'm going to need this image to become attractive or whatever. It's a little bit of brain damage, probably. It's society in that, because what's cool? There's nothing. They're not more stupider than people that think that it is, must hurt others to be cool. There's nothing cool about hurting others. When was hurting others cool? You know what I mean? There was because so the woman they don't think. Just like they like that image, but I don't think they really like that image. They think that something is still wrong in our society. But there are, of course, many amazing women that don't like those things, and you can be cool and strong. But I say there's nothing cooler than doing what is right. You know what I mean? If you try at least a little bit to do what's right. I try. Sometimes it's not so easy. We must try. That's what I believe is what makes us. At least we try to be somebody, or kind of try at least to be somebody. At least try to be a good version of ourselves, trying to develop in a way that it's good for us, healthy. And I just believe that there's truth in the simple things. Some say there's nothing new under the sun, and that's very true. I believe kindness is probably where we must go in us to become a society. That should be kind of the whole thing. You cannot have children with people that are not kind. How can you have children running around and then there's no kindness? And you go worry. Cannot even your wife go off running, whatever it is. Then go be afraid of them. You cannot be afraid of people. We're going to be afraid of people. That image, you think they really like being so tough and all. What's tough about being so tough? For sports and all, okay, it's a sport, give me 5 years, train, and it's my whole life I'm gonna beat you, you know what I mean? Everybody could kind of get into that, probably, to just have a little bit in them, but they must train. It doesn't matter, some are talented, of course, talent is real, I believe in those things. I just think that very often our solutions is in the natural realm, probably natural solution, just going out, being part of life. Now I'm just out enjoying the sun. Did you know that I don't know if his name was Dr. Caldwell, was his name probably, he's an amazing doctor, Dr. Caldwell, and he is like an aware doctor, where he kind of he's aware on the financial part of the world and kind of awaken. I would say, some say some laugh awaken. They think that then you something a little bit off, because you think a little different. But then again, awaken, whatever, aware then. Let's say that he's aware of financial part. Let's say that we live in a world where, there's so much difference of the financial part of our societies, and that it's just what it is. That there are a few families on earth that have so much money, and then of course there if you have the riches and then you have the top riches, they're so different, because there are bankers, there are money, and there's power in money. That's just what it is with money, and money will always have power and influence, attraction, right? And of course, probably it's addictive. Probably money is addictive. We get addicted to money, earning it. Easy said and done, kind of everybody wants money. I want a lot of money, and I want it for the reason of, I think then I will give a lot of money away. I will give a lot of money. It will be only inspiration, because I think it must have something to do with the time, or I would just go do these things where we are sitting here enjoying stuff. But this Dr. Caldwell, he talked about that. I think it was him. I'm sorry if not him, but anyway, he's a good doctor. You can listen to very good tips online. He talks about that 75% of all doctor visits in this world are stress related. So that means that people go to the doctor, and some relations to the stress concerning the reason for being at the visit the doctor. So if that's true, then stress is a part of our society, and that's why I believe in natural solutions, going out, influences through family, people that care for you. This amazing researcher and healer, actually, from I think it was Japan. He is Maserati or whatever his name. I don't remember the name. It was a Masa, whatever. And he, I think that that name of him. But he something like that. And my point is that it proves that when we speak into water, he has this like I shared it. That he has this. He does this. What do we call it? This. Once they go and take this, is he he proves that actually that when we speak into water, that it becomes like crystallized molecules that develops into the crystals, just like a snowflake, whatever, and it's very interesting. And when he speaks nice words, let's say love you, and then it turns into this beautiful crystal, crystallized. The molecules start to form into beautiful shape. And if he says like a swear word, or I hate you, whatever, then it turns into something bad. It ruins it. So some people it sounds strange. You talk to flowers, and there is there are people I've heard that talk to flowers. To say Swampy is one of his names. He's into this herb, one of the herbs. He calls them flowers. He's very well known for some of the good herbs in this world. And then you have 60 Minutes and CBD part of it, where he goes into the little bit different part of probably the doctor world. And there he talks. It's this epilepsy. 60 million. He invested at probably, I think it was $39.7 million of his own money. That's a lot of money investing in CBD. So it's worth looking at. 1 hour 60 minutes actually. 60 minutes then for that episode is worthwhile. Learning a little bit. So I like naturopath. I think that's what can I say? It's misunderstood. Those things very difficult in California. A lot of states, these things is a little bit different. And I think that it's not wrong with the flower itself. It's probably the person. We can develop. We can have stages. I believe also that our life goes through stages in life. That we grow through stages. Stories, people where they go to stages. It took them many years to even become anything. When they're honest with themselves, they say, well, after so much hardship, so much stuff, so much turmoil, I just became something different. Through that, then they kind of went through some strange stuff and become somebody. And that's nice. I believe in that. I believe that we go through stages, and that the stages, we can probably see stages also if we go through them, we see other people when they are in that, and we can become a little bit. But some are foolish, some are not, some are kind, some are evil. Evil is real. So there was one person. He said that it is, concerning this evil in the world. He said. This I also believe. He said, well, there is so much evil in the world, and it's so bad, and then it's so bad, and it's so bad, and it's so bad that it's worse, and that's so bad that it is. I cannot even say it right. I get but this that's so bad. He believed it was that creature, and that was what was that again? It was. What's the name again of that series? It doesn't really matter. Camel or whatever. So it was this Camelot was what it was. Camelot. It's in the. Why do I say that? Because I believe that there is a secret in the world where because it becomes so bad, I believe it has to do with the children. I think it's many years, rich and poor, and it's a lot of this. You have this hush. If you just Google it, I don't know. It's strange. Some just think it's nothing, but I believe it's a part of society, secret society, many generations, a lot of stuff. I am not part of one group or whatever. I walk on my own. I love everybody. I hope I can be friends with all kinds of groups, people, all kinds. I have so much to learn. I humble. What do I know? So much to learn. I think that's attractive. Learning that, be humble. You come into new places and to be humble, to try at least be a little quiet and learn the strength of being quiet. I believe it's strength in that silence, and that we can practice it, and that we can learn and mature. And that we can all open up. I believe I can hopefully be part of, something good on earth. I always tried. I don't think that I do things for the wrong reasons or whatever. I have made many mistakes in my life. I have learned from them. Sometimes it takes years and years to get over or to come really on top of your problems. And that's probably not your own fault. That can be society, people working against you. It can be all kinds of stuff. Not saying that just saying that that's how I feel it is. People don't know you, but they think that they know you and stuff. But this kind of being out, being free, that's like a little bit of who I am. I think I get misunderstood because, well, you was outside, you do this picture of myself. I don't know. I think it's strange. I'm many years without even Facebook, without all these things. I think it's nice connecting. I don't think it's dangerous. I think that this being misunderstood can be dangerous. All of a sudden you get problems because of others misunderstanding you or whatever, or differences. Because you can have your grandmother have stress and you go to the doctor, all of a sudden she have some pill or whatever for stress, and then I have friends outside this world, or I would say people I know, and they told me, one of them said that he's problem with heroin. He was a heroin addict. He took all kinds of drugs. He said that the doctor gave him some pill. His friends said to him, "Why are you getting that? You should not have that." And then he said to me, "Morten, this pill I got, it was the worst thing of all things I quit. It was like going through hell." He said, "Hell for just getting over it for months and months. It took 7 months." He said, honestly, just to get over something that he got from a doctor, compared to heroin, compared to all this other stuff. That's crazy. And then I have another creature I know. He says I remember when he was always on the computer, angry, trying to sue some stuff because he got wrong medicated or his problems. It's just but if somebody gave something, they will protect themselves. They will not. They will protect their interest, whatever it is, whatever case you have, whatever his names, whatever they did. Statistic. The chances for us to get a pill to become better for something is very low, I think. I just think the chance is very low. I think that our lack of understanding is a problem. And for some, probably, I'm not against all things. If you have headache, you have headache. If you're not, but they're forcing these things. Some of them must take it. They blood samples, they test them, they force them. It can ruin their mind, the heart. You have I believe that stuff like the meditation, all this. I believe things is good for us all, but I believe it in a natural way. People talk about open this, do this. I believe that can be dangerous because we don't know what we're doing. I believe more that in a healthy way, where we have a brain, we have a heart, and if we meditate, we can connect simple parts of our mind and heart. If you're a beginner, you start thinking about your heart and mind, and just meditate simply, not become extreme. People yoga, they complain and argue about all kinds of stuff. Why? Do some stretch. Don't worry. It's not worth it, and I don't think they must learn themselves. People, we could say whatever. At some point, they can learn it, and then if they learn it themselves, then they function themselves. There was we have people. I was one which he said that. Well, it's it's like we I think actually when I think about it, something I said myself actually. I thought of myself is that we can have all the talent we want in the world, and then we must train. Training is part of everything. If we don't train, we will never. It's the same for all. The best in the world must train. So they deserve it. They work hard for it. They deserve it. Let's just hope it turns out well for them. Let's hope they have these stages they mature through, and that the children will be alright, and that when they see them grow old, that they have something to good look at that as well, and that they learn and that they mature. Healthy children, and I just believe that we in this world today of age must be a little careful. We're a little bit naive, I believe, concerning the financial part, because, well, I one of those that think that money control and own. I think it's very naive if not. So we have this creature, he's his name again, Biden. He's the president. So then tell me, Biden, if how many millions you got? Biden, if you have 100 billion creatures, friends, who is Biden? What is the chance? What I mean? It's just not happening, and that's the truth. Probably saying that's true. He's president of the United States of America. Well, that John F. Kennedy was. He turned out a little bit. I think he had protection, and then this Marilyn Monroe stuff, I think that got to him. He lose protection, a little bit strange stuff. So he become a little weak in himself because of man parts stuff. But he a beautiful family. I'm not going to talk bad. I seen his brother also lost his life. Amazing stuff. It seems like there is some hope and real people. He said the truth. They shot him in front of everybody, just to make him into some point, killed him. He'd say the truth. The whole world is full of that. They say Bill Gates is the richest man in the world. I think it's very strange. I think there's no chance on earth that creature is the richest man on earth. He goes to dancing on Ellen DeGeneres show. I don't think it's happening that any richest people or bankers or whatever families will go dancing on Ellen DeGeneres show. I think that it's just not the truth. Any financial brain, I'm not expert, but I think I could learn. I think I could be good at stuff. Hopefully I could, some belief in myself, whatever. But I think that he's not the richest man on earth. I think that's very strange. People believe that. Where are we living? What's going on? That's where I often think, what's going on? Where are we? Where are we? When you that feeling when you're young and afraid of the dark. I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. This is probably normal. Like these societies, you must go through this stuff. I think it's a lot of fear. They go through this initiation stuff. If I'm not mistaken, if you know what that is, I'm not going to go into talking about this. Fear, fear is a part of us. Overcome a fear. Probably fear of speaking, fear of each other. Probably when we have internet, when we have TV, television. Some say televised vision and that stuff like that with television. I have many years without television. I go in the mountain. I use internet for my news. I sit in hours of music, a candle, and watch out the window. Have a beautiful view where I live. Amazing. And I think that you become a little old in myself. Very young. I have a young part of me, very young. I feel like that young part is a little interesting. And then I have that old and mature. That's a part of me as well. And that those two go together. And that when you're young, you remember how you think and how you feel, and that you connect those in yourself. I think it's beautiful that. Anyway, we are different. Some will think that's strange probably, and that would be okay. Why not? Probably one day they will not think it's strange. That states a difference. We cannot. I say racism also is. It's like it's lack of intelligence. Because let's say intelligence. What do you mean? I mean that. Well, you. What do you mean? It's lack of intelligence. I mean. Let's say you have every skin color in the world next to each other like this. You know what I mean? That we sitting like this, and then everybody sits like that next to each other. You take a picture of it. You know how you're gonna hate on one of it. How can we start hating on one color? It looks amazing. It's like the rainbow. Then there we go. Like a little white now, actually white. But then again, can't get brown. You know, sun, really nice brown. I think this skin can become. But then you have all kinds of. Some are darker, some are dark hair. You know, woman and dark man. You know that stuff. Yeah, whatever. Then you have this darker skin. Yellow skin, they say. It's not yellow, strange. But it's all kinds of those. I think it's just a little bit intelligent. Start hating on one that or whatever. I think it's a little bit. You must have something wrong. Some parent saying stuff or some uncle or whatever. Those seeds that sits deeply. I think that this is strange. And I just think it's very stupid. I think culture is where we get angry. The different cultures, this and that I can understand. Then we're talking because this culture can be very bad. People are very bad, very nice and very bad. But very often they're more nicer than people think. Hitchhikers, you don't hitchhike, and if you ever done it, probably you wouldn't want her to hitchhike all over the world. And, I've heard that we misunderstand. They're more nice than we think. People. Very often there's nothing like we think. It's television scaring us. We get afraid. Some say they use fear or we are learned when we're young. We have fear in us, so we are afraid of each other. And like I said, this computer, television, all they distance ourselves. Become more distant even though we're closer. Probably it's true. So have that reaction. Something to think about. Strange stuff. You know, they also said that, you know, all, you know, I say, it's English speaking, is that, you know, all tabloids with English writing and with news, it's owned by the, you know, the same group of individuals. That you can connect them probably through these Bilderbergers or whatever. That's probably the most famous names for those groups where we don't. Some are part of it, some are not. But we never see it on the news. Wouldn't that be interesting? You know, what should we know about the richest people in the world meeting with politicians? Isn't that strange? You don't want to know what they're talking about. If not, then there's no need to follow the news because it's owned somewhere. Meaning that also if you play a game with Monopoly or whatever, it's called in a different language. In Norwegian we call it that. You know, where you buy streets or you buy companies and stuff. Then, you know, you own it. You earn money, it's a lot of money and stuff, you know. So they own stuff. And of course, I think it's about perspective. They own news, tabloids, in let's say newspaper, all English newspaper, all with English writing is owned. I've heard, but same, you can connect, you can find out that it's owned somewhere. That's interesting. There was a German guy the last 10 years, he was the boss, and he went out and he said that, you know what, this tabloid, this news media I was a part of, they were trained in lying to the people. You know that? He had what we would call bad conscience. And in Germany, Hitler was super extreme on this. When it comes to this being a part of propaganda, he was extreme. Propaganda everywhere. This is one example where one person inside of it. The German embassy said it got shot by a boy, a Jew, and then they have the all hell break loose. He sent people into where they into the street. You must read about it. It's actually part of history that after somebody shot somebody in the embassy, then Hitler, he met his people, his closed ones, and he said that, how can we milk this for all it's worth, this shooting here. So he was a little bit screwlouse, that Hitler. He was some, you cannot even think that he's so bad at Hitler. He was, you have this sand from this party, and there was a reason why he became, you have the votes, that was the whole reason. Because he got the votes then, become councillor, and could become president, the boss. And they were afraid of that the church would not go on, so they just gave Hitler their voice. I think that there's a lot of strange stuff with Hitler. He could go into cities, and he could promise peace to them, coming out, becoming a hero, but he could promise peace to them, but then go back again, and just do bad stuff. And my point is that he could go into the city. If he didn't take over it one day, he gave order to bomb the whole place in one day. He just stopped bombing everything. Bomb, 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 bomb. It's so bad that there's no words to describe. We have a bomb going up here where I live. Here you can see in Bergen I live, in Norway. Over there, I'm going to show you that. See the boat? See that place on the other side? That is called Laksevåg. I had a grandmother, she went to that school. And just some bombs, I don't know if it was one bomb or whatever into that school. And over 100 people died, and a lot of them were children. Just imagine bombing a whole city, bomb, bomb, whole country. And when they came in, this Hitler in Norway, the airplane, they didn't dare to fight him because they didn't know what to do. They have no airplanes, anything. And he have this, I think it was Focke-Wulf. That airplane they have, actually that time, they were proud. They were said to be proud, those people that drive airplane. They will a little bit have that proudness about them, be a pilot, and toughness. So that's probably how military. I know people that been marine soldiers, that been friends with my father and stuff like that, and like stories that's where they really were somebody. Seen stuff that is not words to describe. And I understand. So it's a part of culture, it's a part of manhood, probably the part of who we are, and war is real. And then this Bosnia war, they wrote stories where they use nails and they hammer them, for to scare the next soldiers coming in looking. They hammer them up on the wall. So let's say you 5 soldiers you killed, and then boom, up on the wall, hammer them onto the wall. Strange stuff. So then the next come in, and then they see these soldiers nailed to the wall. So if you're young, probably you handle it right there and then. And today with this video game, people become a little bit strange. Probably they want war, but don't know what it is. Probably easier getting taken advantage of. When older, I heard that in America there were more people that killed themselves after Iraq than died in the war. Think about that. It's not just words. That's reality. More people that killed themselves after Iraq than have lost their life in war in Iraq. I heard some other Christians talked with some other, and some who said he didn't believe in that let's say that war in Iraq, and he said that just didn't believe in the war, it shouldn't be there and stuff, and terrorism. This was a politician always saying the same stuff over and over. So I just believe that we must be a little bit careful, learn to think on our own. There are many. I believe that in media station there are many people that are very nice. Many people do what they can, and they work hard to get a job, and they try. Not many in a business. There are, let's say, if you have people working for you, and you have somebody that works with the team you have, but then you get somebody out to train that team. Then what you talk with who the other guy or girl, that is up between you and that. You know what I mean? So they don't need to know anything. Which is why they need to know anything. They don't need to know anything. They do the job. They get money. You pay them. You pay her or him, and then things work. That's just imagine when you get lots of money. Military, just go to airport. You doesn't matter who you are. You be whatever. We all must then, of course, most of us must then. Probably not these bankers and stuff. They probably own. Some of them have laws. They can control laws. There are laws after these names. Some parts of states in America, if you see documentaries of them, if you, let's say you steal a soda and you're 17, 18 years old, and then you get 1 mark on you. Then let's say you later on somebody hits you, and then you get hurt inside, and then you hit again. You defend yourself, and then you beat out. Let's say you break a jaw. You get 2 marks. Let's say when you're older, somebody do something, or then you help or whatever. Then you get 3 marks if you do something wrong, police. Then your life in prison. They send them into life. They will document. I don't believe there are people in documentaries where they sit in their whole life because of the strange stuff, because of these laws. Mike Tyson talks about it. And these people are connected with J.C. Rockefeller or whatever. I think it's Rockefeller, not the Rothschild. But just imagine, would you believe that these 2 kings of those families, or at least for now, do you think that would you bet your whole life, or at least that's a little strange, or would you triple everything you have for, let's say, would you bet on that this Bill Gates is richer than these 2 men? Would you really believe that? Isn't that strange? They can make laws. Who are they? What is going on? But they make laws. It must be powerful, eh? They go with this Rothschild. It looks very nice. He go drink tea and stuff with the Buckingham Palace. These people in Buckingham Palace. He comes in nice cars and stuff. Couldn't even. Would you bet, like, say, would you bet on Bill Gates? Wouldn't it be strange? The whole world believes those things. It could be, I'm just saying it. Of course, he has a lot of money. He is super. It makes itself, those things. No charge on every thing, every time you do things. Money everywhere. It's not that you cannot even have the newest charger in the Apple, and then you must have a special charger to the next. Strange stuff. But Mike Tyson talks about this in prison. This law. I think he's caring about this stuff. Actually, interesting. Anyway, I think that this. I think that, like I've written, I think that the future is kindness. I believe these families, if we can just hope that they will be kind, that they will think differently, they will protect, they lift the children up, not stand for what the history did. they can make a change. We cannot bring with us our shoes. We have all different opinions. I agree with strong opinions. I respect them. I don't know them. I respect them in itself that they're living. But I am passionate about the evil stuff. Or interesting that the things that matters. I think it's very difficult. I have a problem with how bad the world is. That's my problem. But I really think that striving for right things is part of us being somebody, really, if we want to, if that means anything. And I just cross my fingers. Hopefully I make a good living one day, can take care of those I love and myself, can give away some to the poor, can be part of a society and make a difference in things that will matter. If I don't have to show it to people, then I, at least for creatures and myself. And I want to also be part like Elvis. He could see people in the window, the story like that he could see them looking at a car, he go buy a car, them, amazing stuff. So I really fan those things. I just don't want to end up like Johnny Cassidy and being alone and crying songs on the radio. Just want to have good stuff. Probably enough with one wife, just one who can care for you. Trying to learn to be strong in those areas. Protect yourself a little bit from internet stuff that's not good for us. I believe that internet is damaging the whole world. If the richest would remove internet, the whole world will be changed. The next generation. People get addicted very young, have problems that they shouldn't have. It will change the whole world. Next generation. That's probably the best, honestly, advice I can give. Remove internet. Some of them, at least. And stress. Be careful with stress. Careful with people that you love getting stuff that they shouldn't. Related to them having stress. Because people are not aware. They make money on these things also in the medical field. And if you are just a little bit of competition against another field of money, let's say they make 100 million a year or billion, and let's say a pill, you come along with this CBD oil, even though it's 40 million, doesn't matter. Not to them, because they use these things for what it's worth. They want to keep those money, So it's all about the money. Money controls power. But anyway, we should look forward, and I think that at some point probably they make those money anyway if they get smart, work together, or those that have influence and money would think differently. Because everything you do, once you do it differently or you do think differently for something good, if you have 50 million, you can create those to a billion if you're talented. For the money keep rolling to the poor. So you're gonna give away 50 million. Okay, that's amazing. Who gives away so much money, But then what about making it into something that can run on itself? Then all suddenly you have much more money for them over time going. Those things is amazing. I really respect that. So I'm just typically a little bit skeptical in their intentions, what they really want, the leaders and stuff, because of the things we don't know. And I don't know if we want to call it anything. I just want to say that it's a healthy being a little bit skeptical. It's because we must give some trust, but we must not become naive. Learn to give people space, but try to have self-respect enough to think for ourselves and to look at the world and reality, because it's true. Many suffering now, this coronavirus, all that talk about it opens up for a lot of vaccines and all that. People are just jumping into it, taking stuff into them, and you can just pray and hope that those things are good for them. I believe that we can live without. Honestly, there's a guy, he says that he never ever vaccinated his children. They have never been sick before. He's an honest individual, and I'm just saying that it can be lucky. There are probably some of them that are better than others. Some are more. whatever. I believe that things comes from health. We have vitamins, we have the body. If we know our mind and heart, if we have good food, if we have trained, if we have good family, have love and care, like words, speaking good things into that water we have inside of a vessel, then that's the solution probably. For love and care, that we need those things for survival. Since we are so weak when we're born, we must become something. Then we must not lose our mind in that process, because we were a baby, we couldn't even move. Animals can start to walk. Anyway, we are humans. We are not monkeys in that we can think. We are a little bit over them, so we have responsibility for them. Some of them are probably nicer than humans, but often it seems that way. So we can start to learn a little bit from them. Probably also we can be kind to each other. Kindness. Very simple word, and I just wish all of you well. I hope people will wish me well.